So what do you think the league is? The league, I mean, Roger Goodell did make an interesting point yesterday when everyone's like saying the officiating's an issue, and certainly what happened in Kansas City. And his answer is, well, they actually got a call right, and you're complaining about it, essentially was his message. So what do you think is the state of officiating? You knew there would be a full-throated support of officiating from the commissioner and Troy Vincent, and that happened yesterday. But what do you think is happening on that front right now?
Well, and look, here's the caveat to what Goodell said. It's the point Dan Orlovsky made earlier this week on NFL Live on ESPN, where he showed the various times Kadarius Toney was lined up offside earlier in the game. It wasn't called. If you call it once, then maybe he lines up right the rest of the game. Why do you wait until crunch time to throw the flag for something he's doing repeatedly? Rich, what I've been saying for years, they need to take the current officiating function, tear it down, and rebuild it, reimagine it with all current technologies in mind. They've been pushing for years, and it's still out there. I found the link to the website earlier today. A first down marker that is laser-based. So when you were in the stadium, you actually see the green line. It would be a green line that shows how far the team has to go to get a first down, and everyone can see it. Why not have a blue line that signifies the line of scrimmage? So we don't have to play this guessing game, and you don't have to have a receiver looking to the line judge who's going to say yes or no, and you don't have to have this inconsistency. There's no guesswork. There's no misunderstanding. The line is there, and everyone knows whether or not the guy's on the right side of it. No one has to engage in speculation about lining up because that has nothing to do with the game. If a guy's a foot over the line, it doesn't change anything. Why do we want to put that burden on somebody if it's unnecessary? That's just one example of how you can completely reimagine officiating if you say we're taking every modern technology and infusing it into how we determine where and when and how the rules are complied with or violated, and get rid of the 2 sticks and 30 feet of chain link that they've been using since 1920. I found a picture today of an old game where they're out there with that stick. The only benefit of that stick is it gives you a little bit of drama when they pull the stick. I'll trade the drama for certainty.
And you know what's an interesting, this is Mike Florio here in the Rich Eisen Show. This is a good time to have this chat, is I think the NFL should hook up with XFL, USFL, and bring it in-house. And I understand that the minor leagues, so-called minor leagues, are really college football, right? Where the minor leagues for the NFL in college football is where players can get their games going and work on their games and mature. But there still needs to be a developmental aspect of this sport that we are seeing come home to roost with offensive linemen not as fast or as agile as the defensive linemen that are coming into the league now that we're going to see at the combine. There's going to be new records broken. We're not seeing enough quarterbacks with enough experience coming in when there's, I believe, this week, Nick Mullins will be different starting quarterback 55 this season after Easton Stick is 54 tonight, Mike. That we don't see enough developmental stuff for players, coaches, and even officiating. Like what you just said, great idea. Let's show it in a spring league that the NFL is involved with and teams are involved with and scouts are involved with, and get it going there and use all of that as a ground for development for every aspect of the sport. What do you think about that?
I think that's an excellent point. You're coming at the problem from the perspective of someone who cares about the game and wants what's best for the game. That's good.
Right.
You're not coming at it from the perspective of a business person, because developmental leagues don't make money. If developmental leagues make money, the NFL would have one. The NFL wouldn't have shut down NFL Europe or NFL Europa, which was its final name in 2007 when they finally abandoned it. They don't care about developing players and officials unless there's a profit to be earned while doing so. And that's not a criticism. It's a reflection of reality. It's a business. It's a zero-sum game. It's on you to develop whoever it is, offensive lineman, quarterback, official, sink or swim. You develop with the opportunities you're given, and we're going to have 53 guys on the team, and 11 are going to be on the field. And we don't care if there's this great story where a guy goes from bagging groceries to playing for the Iowa Barnstormers to playing in NFL Europe to going here, there, and everywhere before he becomes a Hall of Famer. We don't care. All we care about is what it's going to cost us to have something like that isn't going to generate profit. And the minute the XFL, USFL becomes consistently profitable is the minute the NFL will buy it, guaranteed.
But what about the idea? So it's going to take Jeff Bezos to call up Roger Goodell and say, man, I wish Easton Stick had more ability before tonight's game. I'm serious. Like, don't you think that the product would work better if all of these kids that are now backup quarterback? I mean, when you and I were kids, I mean, there were grown-ass men that were coming, like Steve DeBerg would come off the bench, right, with a million snaps under his belt as the backup quarterback. Now it's like, let's see Easton Stick against Aiden O'Connell, who's, they're doing their best. But don't you think the product would be better if these guys had more experience coming into these games?
Before I answer your question,
yes,
I just need to tell you a Steve DeBerg story that I wasn't aware of until a year or two ago.
We are all ears, Mike.
Do you know this story?
No.
Do you know the Steve DeBerg story about he injured his larynx and couldn't talk as loud as he needed to call out signals? So they put a speaker on his shoulder pads that would project his voice to his teammates. That actually happened. He had a boom box on his shoulder pad so his teammates could hear him. Anyway,
he was the Radio Raheem of quarterbacks? Is that what you're saying?
It all happened because he got hit in the neck.
Say anything.
He got hit in the neck. I don't know if they were playing Peter Gabriel, but he got hit in the neck. So, look, Rich, you're absolutely right about quarterback play.
Yes.
And about the quality of the games. Scoring's down. Last year, they had Troy Vincent on ESPN's pregame show to defend roughing the passer calls, and he said, look, we need to have healthy quarterbacks to have healthy ratings. If you start having a bunch of quarterbacks injuries, nobody's going to watch. Well, Rich, I got a tweet yesterday from the NFL media account that told me that 17.8 million people on average have watched NFL games this year, the highest since 2015. Yep. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Bad football, good football, ugly football, we're still going to watch it. It doesn't matter. Now, that might be short-sighted, but maybe it's not. Maybe football is so baked into what we do from September to February that it doesn't matter if the best quarterbacks aren't available. What matters is the game. We tune in to watch the game, and they can take a lot of solace in that.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.